Hello everyone, and welcome to Capitol Watch for Friday, January 30th, our weekly look at the Missouri General Assembly. And joining us from our governmental relations offices in Jefferson City is our Associate Executive Director for Advocacy and our Chief Lobbyist, Mike Reed. And Mike, I guess the big issue this week in Jefferson City was student transfers. And tell us what happened related to that issue.
Yes, it is. The Senate Education Committee met on 4 bills dealing with student transfers, and there was quite a lively discussion about that. Senator Pierce discussed a Senate committee substitute that he was proposing, and all of that. It answers a number of the questions that the governor had last year in the bill when he vetoed it, and there has been a lot of negotiation, a lot of work between the governor's office and the Senate and the House concerning this piece of legislation. It's a good start. There are a lot of interesting things in that bill, but there's a lot in the bill, including transfers to charter schools, perhaps, increase in virtual education, what Senator Pierce stated in his bill that he took out the private school option. So it was a good start and a good discussion.
So a more favorable bill as far as we're concerned, Mike, compared to the one last year that did have essentially a voucher provision in it.
Yes, this does not have the voucher provision in it, and it is a more favorable bill. Again, the devil is in the details, and we have not seen the substitute yet. We've just heard the senator talk about it, but it looks like it's a very good start, and yes, it's much more favorable than last year's bill.
And of course, Mike, unaccredited school districts and those surrounding those districts and those potential districts are very concerned about this bill. But really, other districts around the state ought to pay attention to this legislation as well, shouldn't they?
Yes, this is not just a St. Louis or Kansas City bill or a bill dealing with districts in those areas. Every district needs to pay attention because it deals with what happens when a school becomes unaccredited and the school districts around that in the next county and the surrounding areas of that unaccredited school district. And there are several districts who are teetering right now and may or may not become unaccredited. So it's very important for all of our members because this could affect them.
Mm-hmm. And on the House side, Mike, a House committee will be taking up a similar issue next week, won't they?
Yes, the House committee met this week and had an informational session, but they're taking up the bill next week on Monday. And they want to this is on a fast track with the House. They want to work as quickly as they possibly can and add amendments to that. As you remember, the House is a little different this year. The House Select Committee on Education is the one hearing this bill. And then after that, I'm sorry, wrong name. The House Committee on Emerging Issues in Education is hearing the bill. And then after that, it gets worked up, and then it goes to the House Select Committee on Education. So it'll be heard twice, and there'll be a couple of bites at the apple, and so it needs to get started right away. Mm-hmm.
And also next week, Mike, the House Elementary and Secondary Education Committee gets busy, doesn't it?
Yes, they get busy also on Monday. They're hearing, I believe, 5 bills dealing with some accreditation situations and relationships between school districts and etc. So yes, it's going to be a very busy week next week.
Mm-hmm. Mike, of course, last week we had the governor and his State of the State address and also his budget proposals for the next fiscal year. The legislature is beginning to work on the state budget. Any reaction or feel for how that's going to go so far?
Well, it's going to, again, this is on a fast track. The House Education Committee dealing with Appropriation Education Committee met this week and set out the ideas of how often they're going to meet, and they want to try to get their work done by the middle of February so we can go to the big House Budget Committee. The big problem, of course, is money, and what are we going to do to fix the holes in the budget? And the governor has proposed $50 million, but as we know, last year in the bill that changed the way that the foundation formula will be paid out in certain areas. Some districts got more money, some districts got less, and the $50 million doesn't cover that. So in talking to the House Budget Chair and the Senate Budget Chair, they're looking to find as much money as possible so we can have fairness across the board.
Mm-hmm. And Mike, we have our major legislative event coming up in mid-February, our annual legislative forum, and we certainly encourage our members to attend that, don't we?
It's extremely important that our members do that. As we talked about last week, we are in a new consortium, a new group with the Missouri Municipal League and the Missouri Association of Counties. It's a large group of elected officials, and numerous people have come to talk to me about how important it is that elected officials work together. And this is another time that elected officials can come down, our elected officials come down, discuss with the members of the General Assembly how their actions affect the local school district. Extremely important. It's already the end of January. The first month of session is gone. So it's moving very quickly, and we need our members to become engaged.
And that legislative forum is February 17th in Jefferson City, and our members can register for that event through the MSBA website. And of course, we'll be keeping you up to date on legislative developments through our Legislative Voice newsletter every Friday in your email, our daily blog on the MSBA website on the front page, and of course this program as well. Mike Reed, thanks a lot for being with us on Capitol Watch, and we thank you as well for viewing this edition of MSBA's Capitol Watch.